I changed my mind.
Okay.
I changed my mind because at the very beginning, I was the very big advocate of the idea that the blockchain should be separated from cryptocurrency. So blockchain is just a technology and cryptocurrency is just one of the applications of the. But then I found that the question is tricky. The question is tricky because not all problems can be solved just with cryptography. There are cryptographical primitives and economical primitives, and only they together form what we now see in the world. Okay. And they can prosper only together. You should not, no, it's my opinion that you should not separate them.
Anatoly, thank you for taking time here to speak to us today.
Thank you.
We're at the Unblock conference happening here in Riga. But before we start, for those who haven't had the opportunity to meet you, can you tell me briefly who you are and what you do?
I'm Anatoly Ressin, the CEO of the Blockvis. It's a Latvian blockchain consultancy and startup studio. Mm-hmm. We create both products for our clients and our own startups, and even attract some funds to evolve it to big products.
All right, very interesting. So this is the first day of the conference, and I understand today is all about socializing the concept of blockchain and getting people to understand what's important about blockchain and maybe separating it from some of the bad connotation that it has had in the past few years. So you were just on stage. What is the key message that you want the audience that was listening to you to take away from your talk?
From my talk, I would say that probably I was from the another camp that criticize blockchain. I'm started as the big fan of the blockchain, and even the name Blockvis named after blockchain visionaries. Mm-hmm. So our motto was envision future, get ready today. Mm-hmm. But at some moment we understood that the blockchain is something that is really expensive, it is really hard, slow, but it's inevitable in some really important things that cannot be done without blockchain.
Okay, I would love to double click on that, because at some point 5 years ago, we kept hearing that, yeah, blockchain is a solution to a problem we don't have. That's not the case anymore. Tell me more about that.
Absolutely. So blockchain itself is known for its immutability. Mm-hmm. And it is most important part because the immutability allows us to digitalize the ownership.
Right.
And so when we're talking about the digitalized ownership, then blockchain is something that really solves all the problems with cheating, with all the things. But if you are trying to solve with blockchain every possible problem, you are just spending money without any consciousness.
Okay, so some problems are solvable with blockchain, but not all problems can be solved with blockchain.
You should not try to solve everything with blockchain. Blockchain is a range. You should use it only at the right places when it really works.
Okay, and what would you say are the most compelling use cases for blockchain?
Money. So, okay. Money, the digital ownership and digital ownership of assets. So, for example, now real world assets tokenized with the blockchain is really big things. But we still not there. And tomorrow we will speak with the lawyers from the scene. So I have a second presentation together with Anina Strivinya. And we will discuss what should be done to let smart contracts really work in our legal framework to be compatible with what is happening. Because, for example, so if you want, even if you want to do something really related to blockchain in your company, you need to create a formal documents that will spot on particular addresses. You need to sign with your either physical or digital signature that is from the state. Mm-hmm. that this address will be associated with my company, so it's my official address, and then only then there is a legal no, there is a legal indulgence to do something with this address. And so on. But for example, such questions as can a decentralized autonomous organization be presented in court, for example, to defend its own interests, to pay salaries, to hire people,
Right.
and it's a really good questions, and our legal framework should be accommodated to this. Without this, even this digitalized ownership is nothing. So
Right.
so kind of these things.
Okay, now let me ask you something, because I think in the minds of a lot of people, blockchain and cryptocurrencies are one and the same. But we are making a distinction here between the technology that runs the ledgers and the application that runs on top of the blockchain. Can you put some more words around that?
Yes, there are differences, and but here I would say that I changed my mind.
Okay.
I changed my mind because at the very beginning, I was the very big advocate of the idea that the blockchain should be separated from cryptocurrency. So blockchain is just a technology, and cryptocurrency is just one of the applications of the. But then I found that the question is tricky. The question is tricky because not all problems can be solved just with cryptography. Because when you're separating blockchain from economics, from economical stimulus, from economical factors, you just have a bare mathematical primitives, and they are pretty restricted in their abilities. Because in mathematics, there are two different approaches how to solve problems. One is strict, when you put constraints, for example, around some problem, and other is soft, when you're optimizing something,
Right.
when you're creating stimulus, when you're creating incentives, and only economical agents that are selfish, that are working just on their own good, they are inevitable part of the technology that allows you to solve some really altruistic things.
Right.
You cannot, without those who are playing selfishness, you cannot solve things that are important for the community.
So if I understand what you're saying is that human behavior and the psychology really plays a role here when trying to apply whether very prescriptive mathematics versus stochastic mathematics.
Exactly. So there are cryptographical primitives and economical primitives, and only they together form what we now see in the world. And they can prosper only together. You should not. No, it's my opinion that you should not separate them.
Very interesting. Okay, now just one last question, and this is maybe looking a little bit more into the future. So we see that blockchain is picking up a lot of momentum. It was picking momentum 3-4 years ago. Then AI came in, and now we're seeing like really a lot of impetus behind blockchain. What do you expect to see happening in the blockchain space and in the crypto space within the next 5 years?
In next 5 years, I really expect some fusion between legal frameworks and smart contracts. So it's the most important things that should be done as a homework before we will move forward. So when we will solve, only then there will be open some other perspectives.
Right.
Because we now really constrained.
Right. All right, well, a very exciting future to look forward to. Anatoly, thank you very much for stepping here in a pop-up studio, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.